So what is Z-Identity? Z-Identity is the common identity service for all Zscaler products. It's the central point of identity management, of assigning entitlements to users, and also the single front door for users to authenticate and access Zscaler services. With identity management, we support SCIM, just-in-time provisioning. We have an administrative UI where administrators can manually manage users, and then also import users via a CSV file. But the key aspect for the automation that we support around identity management is it leads to automatically assigning entitlements to users based on a user's group assignment and our support for assigning entitlements to groups. When a user shows up in the system or is synchronized via SCIM into Z-Identity and they have a group membership and that group membership already is assigned an entitlement, the customer doesn't have to take any additional action. Everything is automated from the creation of the user as well as what that user is able to do. For more of a visual aspect of what this looks like, we have simplified the experience for the day-to-day Zero Trust administrator. They only need to authenticate once, regardless of the entitlements that they have. They can authenticate once and then access ZIA as an administrator, access ZPA as an administrator. Likewise, as an end user, that user can also authenticate once through Z-Identity and be enrolled into multiple services at the same time. So also as a result of our architecture here, we have made it a lot easier for this super admin or an identity access management admin in that they only need to maintain a single connection with an external identity provider, regardless of the products that that customer is using, regardless of the permissions that a user ultimately has. And a key aspect of all of this is role assignment. So at Z-Identity, that's where roles are assigned. The definition of those roles still remain within the various services. So ZIA is aware of its permissions and therefore the role management and definition is done there. But assigning that role is done centrally at Z-Identity. This provides a single pane of glass for all users so that you can see for this given user, what are their entitlements or permissions across all Zscaler products, again, as an administrator or potentially as an end user as well. And just to emphasize that point a little bit further, a user is just a user. We synchronize a single representation of that user from an external identity provider into Z-Identity. And again, that's regardless of whether this user is an administrator or an end user. Entitlements are assigned at Z-Identity, but the user is just one. And then further, just to reemphasize that all of this can be done over that single and same IDP connection that is used for all types of users or users with all types of permissions. And this really opens the door for a lot more strategic focus and innovation going forward. We can do things like evaluate context of a user in its entirety. When this user was acting as an end user, what types of actions did they take? When they acted as an administrator, what types of actions did they take? And that can lead to more adaptive access policies and control and security enforcement for when that user is trying to make subsequent actions.